Are you an introvert? Quiet, reserved, drained by people. Most people think that's a weakness. Wrong. Extroverts dominate conversations. They network. They talk fast. They seem confident. So naturally they win. Right? Wrong again. Because while they're busy talking, you're doing something far more dangerous. You're thinking, deeply, relentlessly. And in a world addicted to noise, that gives you an unfair advantage. History proves this. Einstein worked alone. Newton isolated himself during the plague and invented calculus. Bill Gates takes think weeks away from everyone. Not loud, not flashy, just focused. I'm about to show you exactly why introverts outperform everyone else, and how to turn what you thought was a flaw into a weapon. By the end of this, you'll never see your personality the same way again. Chapter 1. The Silence Advantage. Most people think productivity comes from collaboration. Wrong. Open offices, group chats, meetings, notifications, you call that work? It's chaos. The University of California found that after a single interruption, it takes 23 minutes to refocus. The average person gets interrupted every 3 to 5 minutes. Do the math. They never actually focus. But you avoid noise. You prefer solitude. That's not antisocial, that's strategic. Psychologist Cal Newport calls this deep work, sustained, distraction-free concentration, the exact condition required to produce high-level results. While extroverts chase stimulation, you eliminate it. While they multitask, you lock in. Your brain isn't scattered. It's compressed, like a laser. And lasers cut through steel. But here's the problem, though. Most introverts waste this advantage. They isolate, but don't focus. They avoid people, but replace them with scrolling. Silence alone isn't enough. You need to use it correctly. That's where the second advantage comes in. Chapter 2. Depth over noise. Most people think success comes from doing more. More networking, more meetings, more talking. Wrong. It comes from going deeper. Introverts naturally do this. You don't skim, you dive. Psychologist Anders Ericsson, who studied world-class performers, found something interesting. Top performers don't practice more. They practice deeper, deliberate practice, focused, isolated, brutal. Exactly what introverts are wired for. Let's break it down. Average people, read fast. Forget fast, move on. Introverts, reread, analyze, question everything. You don't just consume information, you interrogate it. That's why introverts dominate fields like writing, programming, research, strategy. Anything that requires depth. While extroverts gather ideas, you refine them. While they brainstorm, you build. But here's the thing, depth is slow, and the world rewards speed. So most introverts panic. They try to act extroverted. Talk more, post more, engage more, big mistake. Because you're trading your strongest advantage for their weakest skill. Stop doing that, play your game, not theirs. But here's the problem though. Even if you think deeply, you can still overthink. And overthinking kills action. That's where the third advantage comes in. Chapter 3. The processing engine. Most people think introverts are shy. Wrong. They're processors. Your brain doesn't react instantly. It analyzes first. That's why you pause before speaking. That's why you replay conversations later. That's not weakness, that's processing power. Psychologist Carl Jung, who introduced the concept of introversion, explained this clearly. Introverts direct energy inward. They process internally before acting externally. Extroverts, they process externally. They talk to think. You think before you talk, which means fewer mistakes, better decisions, stronger ideas. But here's what nobody tells you. Processing without output is useless. You can think all day and still achieve nothing. That's why elite introverts use a simple system. They capture to refine to express. Step 1, capture ideas privately. Step 2, refine them deeply. Step 3, express them clearly. Writers do this, programmers do this. Strategists do this. They don't speak randomly, they speak precisely. That's why when introverts talk, people listen. Because it's rare, and rare equals valuable. But here's the problem though. The modern world punishes silence. Social media rewards noise. Loud opinions, constant posting, endless updates. So introverts feel invisible. That's where the fourth advantage comes in. Chapter 4. The scarcity effect. Most people think visibility comes from being everywhere. Wrong. It comes from being rare. Psychologist Robert Cialdini calls this the scarcity principle. The less available something is, the more valuable it becomes. Extroverts talk constantly, so their words lose weight. You don't. So when you speak, it matters. Think about it. The quiet person in a meeting finally says something. Everyone stops. Why? Because silence creates tension. And tension creates attention. You don't need to talk more. You need to talk better. Fewer words, more impact. That's the introvert strategy. And it's lethal. But here's the thing. Most introverts sabotage this. They stay silent forever. They never share. They never publish. They never step forward, so nobody sees their value. That's not strategy, that's hiding. And hiding doesn't win. You need controlled exposure. Not constant noise, not total silence. Precision, say less, mean more. But here's the problem though. Even if you master silence, depth, and precision, there's still one thing holding most introverts back. Energy. Chapter 5. Energy management. Most people think introverts lack social skills. Wrong. They lack energy for useless interaction. Social interaction drains you. That's biology. Susan Cain, author of Quiet, explains this clearly. Introverts are more sensitive to dopamine. Too much stimulation overwhelms them, so they withdraw. But here's the advantage. You're selective. You don't waste energy on nonsense. You choose meaningful conversations, focused work, deep relationships. Extroverts spread energy everywhere. You concentrate it, and concentrated energy wins. Every time, but only if you protect it. That means no random scrolling, no pointless conversations, no fake obligations. Guard your energy like it's money. Because it is. Your attention is your currency. Spend it wisely. Mid-video engagement, 2 advantages down. If you're starting to see how powerful this is, hit subscribe before you forget. Most people won't use this. You will. Chapter 6. The hidden weapon. Most people think confidence comes from speaking more. Wrong. It comes from knowing more. Introverts naturally build internal confidence because you prepare, you think ahead, you analyze scenarios. Extroverts rely on improvisation. You rely on preparation, and preparation beats improvisation most of the time. That's why introverts dominate. Interviews, writing, strategy, technical fields. You don't guess. But here's the catch. If you over-prepare, you never act. So elite introverts use a rule. Prepare deeply, act quickly. No endless waiting, no perfect timing. You think, then move. That balances everything. Chapter 7. The real truth. Most people think introverts are disadvantaged. Wrong. They're misused. The world is built for noise. But success is built on depth. And depth is your territory. Let's recap. You have focus. You have depth. You have processing power. You have scarcity. You have energy control. That's not a weakness. That's a system. A cognitive operating system. And once you understand it, it becomes almost unfair. But here's the problem, though. You can have all these advantages and still lose. Why? Because you're playing the wrong game. You're trying to compete in a loud world instead of building a quiet advantage. That's why most introverts stay stuck. They don't leverage their strengths. They hide from them. And that's exactly what keeps them average. So here's what you do. Stop trying to be louder. Start becoming sharper. Stop chasing attention. Start building value. Stop copying extroverts. Start optimizing introversion. Because once you do, you don't just compete. You dominate. Silently. And if you want to go even deeper, there's one more problem you haven't solved yet. Even if you focus deeply, most of what you learn disappears. Your brain forgets everything. That's why I made this video breaking down exactly how to remember everything you learn permanently. Watch it next.